You're locked into the Boom and Freezer Show, powered by the best in the game, Classic Billiards, Metro Sportz Bar, Anytime Billiards, PNW Pool Thing, the RACK Billiard Club, JP Shower, Tommy's Tattoo Supplies, In the Box, Andy Gow, and Wayne Harriman. Now, let's jump right into today's show.
All right, Bobby Hilton here from the Boom and Freezer Show. I got my man Scott Frost right over there, and we got a super special guest, the most feared man in pool right now, Mr. Aloysius Yapp from Vietnam. How you doing, Mr. Yap?
Singapore. Good.
Oh no, you're in Vietnam right now.
Yeah, I'm in Vietnam right now.
Yeah, no, you're from Singapore. Yeah, you're from Singapore.
Yeah, he's from Singapore, but we've been trying to nail this guy down for quite a while. He's so busy. He's famous now. He's probably the best player in the world. Obviously, that's debatable, but we're grateful to have him. Thank you for coming on, Mr. Yap.
Yeah, thank you for having me too.
So let's talk a little bit about Vietnam. You're going on right there. Do you like Vietnam when you're out there? You've been there a couple of years, obviously. You know, when you go to events, do you like it over there?
Yeah, for sure. You know, it's close to home also. It's like a 2 or 3 hours flight for me. So it's always good to have a short flight. It's always tiring to go to America. It's like it takes about 28 hours at least.
Yeah, so I'll know that feeling because I got to catch a flight tomorrow, and I think I've got 4 flights, and I think it's around 20 plus hours the trip. So I know your pain when you come to the States, buddy. I know your pain.
Now you know how I feel or how they
Yeah, I know. I get it.
Yeah. All right, let's get into some of this stuff. You know, obviously, we're going to talk about your last, year of pool. We've been talking about, your big wins. We talked about, we started with the international, right? That was your first big win. You started to get your little escapade, if you want to call it. You won that, and then you won the Reyes Cup MVP, and then you go on UK Open, Florida Open, US Open, right? That's a lot.
Yeah, it's unbelievable actually. I remember last year I struggled really bad, and then I was like starting to doubt myself a lot too. But I just tried to, just tried to stay as positive as I could. Just stay patient and just work hard and just try to keep looking forward. And then I think the biggest breakthrough that I had was the Reyes Cup when I got the MVP. But it wasn't so much of the MVP, but like I had so many good experiences with the team, and then they gave me a lot of encouraging talk, and I learned so much that week. And then I think from there it kind of built back my confidence. So then from there I kind of picked up and started doing better. And also I got really lucky with a lot of events too. So it's always good.
There we go with the lucky. And I get it. Efren Reyes is the best. He always said he was lucky, but he always won. You seem to be doing the same thing. For the fans at home, though, or even the amateur players, when you say you started to doubt yourself a lot, are you talking like on a daily basis or at the end of every tournament for a day or two? Or was this a daily thing that started going through your mind?
It started off being like just at the end of tournaments because I kept like not getting what I expected. Okay. Then it started going into my like sort of like daily life, not daily life, but like in pool, like the daily life in pool, where I started to just doubted like every part of my game, So and then from there it just went downhill. But yeah, I mean, then
was this after the International Open? After you won the International Open, were you still having doubts?
Yeah, I won my first international in 2023, right? Yeah, 2023.
Yes, and then
I had like a couple months where I just started playing bad. It got worse and worse, and then I started feeling very uncomfortable on the table. So yeah, I mean I'm still human, so
of course
it was such a like a I guess it was it's like a bad time for me, but I also learned a lot. So, and I believe that all those experiences that I got last year, it just helped me a lot in
Yep.
to make who I am today.
Okay, yeah, and we aren't going to dredge on the doubting too much because you're probably the most confident player in the world now, and you're on a run that we've really likely never seen besides what Feder Gorst has done. I think you guys are pretty close in that running, but I'll let Bobby take it over from here.
Yeah, no. From there, then obviously, and I covered you when you beat Morris in the finals of the next international. So at that point, now you're starting to feel you're comfortable. You're starting to feel your groove again a little bit there, and then you go. How'd you feel at that event, 2024?
Um, During the international, I actually switched sponsors like right before the international. So I changed my equipment, and then I was just thinking of, I didn't think too much because I was just thinking like, it's time to try out my new cue in the tournament and then try to learn how I feel and what and like try to adapt to my new cue. I mean, I really didn't expect to win the international also. I didn't I had matches where I played good, but I also had matches where I just played really bad but I got so lucky also. Like I just whenever I miss, I just kept giving my opponents like really bad chances, and then I just can't believe it at that time. Yeah.
You seem like you always, even if you do get a little lucky, if you say, but anytime your opponent misses or make a mistake, or if you get a fortunate roll, you seem to take advantage of it. And from that event through all the events, and why do you think that is? Your training that you're doing is anything subconscious that you do besides, your normal thinking when it comes down to the pressure time?
Um, I think it's just like the I always believe like the roles will even out eventually. Like if you always feel like you're having bad luck, I mean, if you work hard and just stay patient, the luck will slowly come back to you. It's like the law of averages. It'll just like even out over time. So I just try not to think too much of it. I just try to just work hard and just really just try to work on my game and then just let just see what happened in the tournament. I know
Yes,
I know you can't win everything also. So yeah, but all I can do is just as long as I do my best and have no regrets, that's good for me.
yeah, you talk about the roles evening out over time. I think a league player or an amateur player should look at this the same way. Just because you get unlucky one or two or three nights in a row, we're talking about a guy here, Aloysius Yapp, that plays every single day, plays 8 hours a day on an average. But the league players play every night or 4 nights a week or whatever it might be. If you get unlucky two, three nights in a row, don't expect those good things to happen the same night that you had unlucky things happen. It doesn't always happen that way. But what you're saying is it will come around over time if you just keep that mindset. And I think that is so important because what we're trying to do here with this show is give amateur players and young players that are coming up, like the Lucas Verners and you've got it, and Jonas Sutos, you've still got to have that mindset. Okay, I got a little unlucky today. Maybe tomorrow it'll average out. And I think that that's vital information for the fans to take.
Yeah, for sure. And it also like it doesn't sometimes like if you get a bad day, it doesn't mean like the next day could be bad also. It could be good, it could be bad again, but I just feel like it will even out. So just gotta stay patient and just try to focus on the positive as much as you can. It's tough, but like you just have to move on. If you keep dwelling in the past, it's just it's just gonna make you like stuck, and you just
Yeah.
and then you'll start feeling like the breakthrough is so hard to come. But as long as you just stay patient and just keep working hard, yeah, I believe everybody's time will come.
Great advice. That's great advice. Thank you for that. I'm sure everybody's going to appreciate that. Now we know you like to tinker with your cues, the weights and stuff like that. And you just
Yeah.
said you switch cues at the uh at the international. What did you do? How did you get used to the weight there? I know you switch. I know you don't want to give out too much information. Can you tell us a little bit about what you do?
Yeah, so I like forward weighted cues. So, but right before I signed with my sponsor that no, I
Who is your
actually
sponsor? Who
tested
is your
the
sponsor?
Universal Cues.
Okay.
Yeah. So I actually tested before I signed with them, and then I quite liked it at that time. So I knew that if I liked the cue, I could get used to it really quick. You know, I don't know how long it's gonna take, but I just felt like, you know, this, yeah, I could get used to it really quick at that time. Yeah, I mean, I didn't expect to win the international, but I just felt like I I I think I will get used to the cue, and I just felt like, yeah, it's time to try it out in the tournament. That's all I was thinking at that time.
It's so odd to me because growing up in my era when I was in my prime and even a lot of the guys around me, it was almost forbidden to change cues because once you found something you liked, you really wanted to stick with it. I think I played 12 years straight with a Cognoscente cue until it got stolen. But to hear you say you like a front weighted cue, um, I don't want to get you in trouble here, but is there a reason for that? Do you know what that reason
Um,
is?
it's mostly for shots on the rail when you got like a rail bridge shot. I just hate the feeling of the shaft feeling like it's gonna float up
Come off the
after
hand.
contact.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
I just don't like that feeling.
Interesting.
So that's why, and also like the last few cues that I played with before, it's always front weighted also. So I just got used to it.
Great advice right there. That's interesting. I've not heard that before.
You said that
Yeah,
your Q sponsor is Universal Qs. Is that what it's called?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So
Universal
how
cue.
how excited are them? So you use their Q, you win international, then you go to the Reyes. Let's talk about that. The Reyes Cup, you're still playing with the Universal Q and you win that. How are you feeling at that point?
No, at the Reyes Cup, it was actually before the international. So unless it was the Reyes Cup first in 2024, and then the international.
Oh, that's right. There's two you won
Yeah,
two internationals. So the first one
yeah,
with your old
yeah,
Q, the second one was with the Universal.
yeah, yeah.
Gotcha.
During the Reyes Cup, I was using my Mass Q. At the time, I was sponsored with Mass.
Yep.
Yeah, it was front weighted also, and then I really liked it.
Okay, so we could just jump forward right there and then say, well, what about the UK Open, right? You were playing with the Universal then, right, at the UK Open?
Yeah, yeah.
Awesome. Okay.
I just switched to a carbon shaft also, like less than a month before the event too.
Before the UK Open.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
Like it was like
unbelievable. That's
right
unbelievable.
before the UK Open. I was I was playing the Scottish Open. I got to the finals also. Um that was like the I think the second week that I used the carbon shaft, and then I got to the finals. And then at the UK Open, I managed to win the event. But the first time when I took the carbon shaft and tested, I felt like it was really good. It's like what I was looking for at the time. So I just felt like maybe because I loved it so much, I just adapted to it so quick.
Awesome. And you played so good in the UK Open. Obviously you beat our guy Jonas in the finals and you played that match, that finals match. I mean, I haven't seen many better sets except for maybe the one where Koping Chung played you. Besides that, so you must have been playing really good and feeling comfortable at the UK Open with that shaft, right?
Yeah, so actually at the start of the event, I was struggling quite a bit. The conditions was like it was slick, so I kind of struggled with the carbon. I just felt like it was too powerful, and then it turned out like the butt that I was using, because it was so stiff, it just like was too over. It was just overpowering everything. So when I got to the knockout stage, I actually borrowed my coach's cue at that time. I borrowed his cue butt, and then I
Jesus.
fit it with my carbon shaft, and then I played the rest of the event with it.
This is unbelievable to
Yeah,
me,
yeah,
obviously.
Scott. Well, I was going to say, Scott, what do you make of this? I have players, like top pro players we talk to all the time. They won't change nothing. Nothing. They will not change nothing. Here you are switching cues, switching shafts, not changing the butt.
I know some players like Rodney Morris back in the day, Corey Deuel would change things out mid-event, and they obviously were great players. But gosh, for me, I'm a creature of habit, like in everyday life. So I just don't. If something's working, I don't like to switch it. Nowadays, though, Federer's the same way as you. I mean, I know a lot of you top players seem to switch on the fly. I think a lot of that has to do with the quality of the equipment now, though, as well, right? Because everything seems to play really good now, and you guys are so dialed in to what you want to use. And like you just answered that question. I've been in pool 35 years, and I never thought about a cue being, I didn't like the feel of a front weighted cue. I just felt like it was a little awkward, like it was going to get away from me in the front. But it makes so much sense to have a front weighted cue if you're concerned about a rail shot. So it's all just kind of fascinating to me, and I guess that's why we've got you on the show.
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody's a little different on that, but like what I like, it might not be for someone else. So it's I do believe it's important to know what you like. So that's how we start to like trust our game under pressure also. It's not just like I know like a lot of people are saying like, like you're a top player, you can get used to anything, but under pressure it always feels different when you can trust something. Yeah, because you not just have to trust yourself, you have to trust the equipment that you use under pressure. If you feel good with your equipment, I do believe you're just gonna play better also.
Stuff. That's good stuff. All right, so you're a little shaky. You switch butts to your coach's shaft, right? Or your coach's
Coach,
butt, right?
yeah,
Okay, go ahead.
yeah. So I was using my coach's butt, and then I started playing better and better each round. Like I struggled a little with Robbie because that was the first match after I borrowed his butt. Uh, but I managed to escape, and then I was always on the practice table there. I was just like trying to get used to the butt and the shaft. But at that time, I felt it was really good. It just feels right. I just needed to like test it out on the practice table so that I can slowly trust myself. And then I just kept playing better and better each round. Then in the finals, I mean, I can't believe that I played like that. Also, I just feel bad for Jonas. I got I got really lucky also with the breaks and everything. I just got so much good good layouts, and yeah, I mean it's unbelievable. I mean, I just can't believe it.
You
And
played you
for
played
sure, I'm
so
most grateful for the
you,
roles.
you played so well that when he asked, this is way later on, he's like, I said, he goes, what can I do? I said,
Yeah,
I said to him, I said, well, maybe you could win the lag. That's the only thing he could have did because you broke him in five, right? To
yeah,
start.
from the start, yeah.
Yeah. So
And
you played.
then yeah, and then I think I played a safe. Then he missed a jump or he kicked and sold out. And then I ran out and broke and ran the next two again. So yeah, the leg is really important for sure. And especially now with the winner breaks format, it's like everything counts, you know.
Yeah.
It's the same that even if I'm like 8-0 up, I could be it could be 8-8 as soon as like I make a small mistake. Anything can happen.
Of course, that's part of the game, but we'll touch on your break. Jeremy Jones pointed out like a year ago to me, I think it was, that's when you have a really high pressure match, you kind of, I'm not saying you experiment with the break, but early you don't let it get away from you early, but the first few games in, you get stronger, stronger, and stronger, and something that your MO, in my opinion, is, or something that's very common with you, is that you do get shots after the break. Not only do you get shots after the break, you're in a position after the break oftentimes, and not trying to jinx you here, but you're in a position oftentimes where you have a shot on any ball on the table. If the 7 was the one ball, you've got to look at it. If the 4 ball was the one ball, you have a look at it. That's incredible. I mean, that's a credit to your break shot, right? Obviously, breaking and running 5, you've got to get lucky. You've got to get a look at the 1 or the 2 or whatever it might be, right? You've got to get a look at your first ball. But there's something to it, right? The Mosconi Cup last year, the Europeans continued to get looks after the break. We did not. I mean, there's something to it. I think that's the driving force behind what you're doing. Is the break shot, and it's often overlooked with you because I don't think you have, I'm not knocking it, but I don't think your power's at the utmost scale. I think your power, instead of being here, I think your power is about here. It's not here. I think it's about somewhere in between. So you're not crushing the balls, but your response to the balls is unbelievable. And you continue to get this shot, and it goes to show how hard you're working on the break.
Yeah, I actually work quite a bit on my break, and also like I always watch like a lot of the top players, and I just try to see like how they break, try to notice like the small little things they do. Um, yeah, and then also in my practice, I tried like a lot of different ways to hit the one. Like like I just tried so many different ways, and also like where I need to put my cue ball and everything for different situations. So yeah, that's mostly what I really worked on, and I think like recently it's just shown me on like the match table. So yeah, I just feel really lucky, like
Well, it's showing.
to be
It's
able to get to be able to get like so many good layouts after the break. You have to be quite lucky also.
I think it's what Scott said. You have that good break too, but I hear you. You're being lucky.
This episode is brought to you by Classic Billiards, South Florida. Listen, it's Fort Lauderdale to be exact. Dave Bartosiak, Leah Bartosiak, they're expanding twice the size. The place is hopping. They don't like the traditional stuff. They don't like the church quiet stuff. They like to rock and roll fast and loose. Beer, balls, and wings. Classic Billiards in South Florida.
All right, so now you're lucky you won the UK Open.
Well,
Honestly.
and Bobby, yeah, and so to touch on that, right? I think you know as well as I do, Bobby. So he wins the UK Open, but that's a matchroom major now, and I think that's something that was haunting you, Aloysius. I think a matchroom major was something that you really wanted more than just about anything. Obviously, maybe not more than a world title, but more than just about anything, because matchroom majors have a little bit different of a spice to it. There is a ton of pressure. The venues that they set up, the crowds. I think that winning that event, the UK Open, is what's propelled you to where you're at right now. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, for sure. I always felt like, I mean, I won a couple of pro events before, like the International Open and everything. Like International Open to me before I won the UK Open is like it's probably the biggest title that I won to date. It's definitely like given me a first taste of how winning like a major feels like. But of course, like winning a metro major is a really different feeling also because of the atmosphere. It's broadcasted live on television. It just feels different. And like before, when I won the international, it's a big event also. But it just they're both big events, but it's just like I think everybody just sees the matchroom major more. I guess because it's just live on television more. So I always felt like I just lacked that major title, but to finally be able to win it at the UK Open, it just gives me a whole lot of confidence and also like a big breakthrough also.
Nice. Yeah, definitely. And like I said, I always felt the international was a big one as well. I mean, all the big players are there. It is a decent event. I should say the really good event, and the crowd's there and everything. But great
Yeah,
job on both of those.
yeah, it was the original US Open also. So and it always has like one of the toughest fields in the world. I do feel like it should be a major. I just don't understand why no one considers it as a major also.
Well,
Like
shout
the
out to
field
Pat.
is tough.
Shout out to
Yeah,
Pat Fleming and Mike Howerton, both with AccuStats. It is a major, right? I mean, it's a
yeah,
major to win that tournament. But to your
yeah,
point, it's just a little bit different of an environment, right? When you're on Sky Sports or you're live on TV, it's a little just the venue's a little bit different, but they're equally difficult to win. I just think since they're different tournaments, obviously in the mind you can look at it a little bit differently when you're at those events, especially if you're playing a lot of matchroom events and you just haven't won one yet. It's kind of like getting the monkey off of your back, right? You had already won the International Open in 23. You back to back it, win it in 24, but you still hadn't won a matchroom major. And now look at you. It's pretty impressive.
yeah, yeah. It definitely like winning the international back to back definitely gave me a lot of confidence also. So yeah, to finally be able to win like a matchroom major, it just hits different. It just gives me my first big breakthrough, and also the and it also gives me like a whole lot of confidence also going into future events. So
yeah.
yeah,
So
that was something that I just felt like I just lacked at before.
yeah, so you take care of the two internationals. You go over and you beat Honas, who was probably the hottest player of the tournament. He was playing perfect to get down there, and then you jump right over to the Florida Open, and you're feeling how you feeling in that event, Florida Open, after coming off the two big wins.
Yeah, so I actually struggled a little, and then I just kind of played around with my equipment a bit also.
Can you
So
elaborate? Can you elaborate on that a little bit? Can you tell us a little bit about
uh,
that?
I was just uh, playful, I guess, because I was kind of struggling, and then I thought maybe uh, I could maybe it's my equipment just a little, and maybe it's like a little bit of my stroke. So I changed so many things, um, and then I always change the weight of my cue also. So I just tried to find like the perfect balance, but I know it's impossible. But
Is this a feel thing though, Aloysius? Like because when I picked up a cue, even if I played with it 12 years, the minute I had it in my hand, I kind of knew, right? Like it felt really good. So are you starting an event out with a cue that you might have won last event? Are you starting an event out and it just doesn't quite feel right at that moment? So you tinker with it. Is that what's happening until you feel like it's feeling really good in the hand?
something like that, but also because I always switch shafts, so I always have to like rebalance it because some shafts are just like lighter or heavier than others, so it just affects the balance of the cue that I like. So I
And
just
ob-
I just try to make it similar
So
with the weight.
locations are different too, right? Like different
Yeah,
places in the country, different places in the world, humidity, dry, rain, snow.
yeah, for sure. It plays a big part too. So, but for me, it's not really like I'm trying to change the weight based on like the humidity or the conditions, but it's more like it's because like I always change shafts, so I'm always trying out new shafts, so that's why I always have to like adjust the balance back to something that I like.
I love the fact that you have that kind of trust in your you know what you like and you can make it happen. That's amazing. That's great stuff. All right,
Yeah,
so now so now so
sometimes.
so, so now you tinkered it. Now you're playing a little better now that you can Port Open now.
Yeah, actually at the Florida Open on the practice day, I I I kind of adjusted my cue again, and then I just found one like, hey, this might work, And then the other thing was I was hitting the breaks really good in Florida. So even on the practice day, I just felt like I keep getting like good spreads, and I just felt really confident about my break going into the event.
Were
So
you thinking? I mean, in the back of your mind, you just won the UK Open, right? Not just won it. It was a few months in between. But were you thinking about that? Was that in the back of your mind as well? Was that propelling? Your confidence had to be really good. Obviously, each event is a new event. We understand how tough it is to win just one of these events. But was that still in the back of your mind? I mean, it's got to help you, right?
yeah, I didn't think of it actually, but it was completely not in my mind until I got to like until I escaped victory. I mean I escaped death against
Max
Max.
Lackner?
Yeah, yeah. At that time, I was just looking forward to playing every match, you know. But I felt like I was breaking really good, and I also had a good match against Roberto Gomez in the last 64.
Great
Yeah,
player.
that gave me quite a bit of confidence. But I didn't think that, you know, I could win the event or anything. I just tried to stay present and just focus on the match at hand. But I just felt like I was breaking good. So whenever you feel like you break good, you always feel like you might have a chance at winning the event for sure.
Right. And then they got Shane Van Boning looking at you, trying to stop you, right? And he's in the finals against the Florida Open. I don't know what have you played him a bunch of times, or how was your record against
Yeah,
him before that finals? Do you know?
yeah. Actually, I think it's back and forth, but I think I won him I think one or two times more. Uh, but it's always a new match, and you know Shane is always dangerous. He's such a great player. You know he has such a great break also. So it's it's always tough to play him. And yeah, I was just trying to just play my game, and I started off really bad also. I think I was like 5-0 down, and then
Yeah, you were 5-0 down. Yeah.
yeah, and then he made a mistake, and then I just from there I just tried to stay in it, try to just slowly build my confidence and try to slowly crawl back, and then it and then I think I managed to come make a comeback and also lead him. I think it was like 8-5 or 9-5 to me, and then I started like getting, and then the thought of like, hey, I actually might win this event. You know, it just came back into my head, and then like I started playing. I started making mistakes.
Well, that's when
So
they come in, right? It's so tough.
yeah,
I've been in that situation on smaller levels. Um, but even in big money matches, when you get close to the end, you know, people say it's not really how you start, but it's how you finish. When you get close to the end is really when the mind has to be strong because if you're thinking anything outside of what you're supposed to be doing right then and there on the table, when those thoughts creep in, hey, I'm actually going to win this event. Oh my gosh, I'm going to win this event. That's when the back arm can start to let you down. And so you did make a couple of mistakes. I don't believe I commentated that match, but I was standing ringside. I was right there. You did make a couple of little blunders. I cannot clearly remember what those were, but that was all due to what you just said, right? The mindset started to
yeah,
tell you, I'm going to win this event. And that's obviously something you don't want to be thinking about.
yeah, for sure. You know, and then it hurts your focus, and then you start making silly mistakes, and that's when you know it can bite you back. And then Shane, from there, he made it 9-9. I think he ran out and he broke and ran the next two or three racks to come back. Yeah, it's it's really something that for sure I need to work on, you know. But yeah, it always happens, and but you just have to like try to find ways to just remain present and just try to focus on the task at hand.
One other question.
That's what I really need to.
How important or how much, I kind of know this answer and I know it's subjective. What percentage, once you have your tools, once you have the tools to do very, very well, what percentage of the game is mental? And I know you probably don't break it down like that, but would you say it's 80% mental? Would you say it's 90% mental in your position when you're up 9-5 in a final?
It's like, it's definitely a huge part of the game. It's like, to me, it's like 85% at least.
Okay.
At least, it's mental. Then 15% would be like, and everything else. But mental for sure is the most important, because approaching a match positively or confidently, and if you approach a match negatively, it's all different. If you approach a match negatively, I mean, for sure you're going to play bad, but you have to find or learn ways to talk your mind back into being positive. It's hard to always be positive for sure, but like for me, I always find ways to bring my mind back, thinking positive. Yeah,
Stuff right there.
that's what I do.
All right, so now you're playing Shane. He's coming back on you. You're just waiting for another chance at the table. The crowd's huge over there in Florida, right? It was a really good crowd. A lot of people.
It was a huge crowd. I enjoyed it. I thought Shane would get like I thought all the fans would just support Shane, and I'll probably get like a really silent crowd for me, but it turned out, it was pretty even. It was nice. It was nice to see, and I enjoyed that match a lot overall.
It's interesting. We've touched on this in the past. I think the fans nowadays have become so educated on the game due to platforms like Matchroom. I think they've become so educated on the game instead of really being focused on one certain player. I think the fan is more focused on great play, right? Good matches, great play. And we're starting to see that everywhere, right? Yeah, of course, you've got huge fans in Vietnam. I know you do. You've got fans everywhere because of your personality, because you are how you are on and off the table. You're just a great human being. But the fans really appreciate great play nowadays. And I think that that's pretty cool, right? Because you don't have to be a highly known player. If you get into the semifinals, quarterfinals, the fans are going to appreciate you.
Yeah, I think it's because of Matchroom and also like YouTube. There's like so many, they can watch like so many good matches now, and also the commentators of course plays a part, like you.
There you go, Scott. There you go.
Yeah, right. My man. I'll send you that money tomorrow.
Sure. No, but yeah, I mean, it definitely gives like a lot of new insight to the game to like a fan. So I think nowadays the fans are really definitely more knowledgeable compared to, I think, the past at least. But I think now the way the fans react to good pool is just it's
just awesome, right? It's awesome.
Yeah,
it really
awesome.
is. It is.
Yeah.
All right, so tell us the feeling. You're shooting the last rack of the Florida Open.
Yeah, I was shaking real bad. Because I already had my chance, because like I mean I already made a mistake earlier, and then in the last rack Shane broke and scratched, so that was my first chance at winning the event. So this time around I didn't want to mess it up, so the pressure was huge, and I remember my hands were shaking bad, and plus the shot clock, it just made me into a complete nervous wreck. But I managed to run the rack, and I just felt like so lucky.
Yeah, there's no luck. There's no luck about it, though. That's something that, including myself, at high pressure situations when you have a chance to win. But for you, you continue to seem to do this, right? If you can play when that back arm is shaking, then you can do anything. And you know that, right? Because once you settle down, the event's over, you're back up in your room, you're like, God, I wonder if they saw how much that back arm was shaking. Because you really do shake, not you specifically,
Everybody,
but
almost everybody, a lot of people.
anybody. Yeah, absolutely. You're gonna shake. It's a sport. You're at the highest level. You're under extreme pressure, but you realize you can do it, right? And I think that's the beauty of sports, especially cue sports, golf, cue sports. When that back arm is shaking and you're still making the balls, right? You're still getting the cue ball where you want it to get. There's really nothing better, in my opinion.
Yeah, for sure. If you can play through the shaking feeling, for sure it also gives you confidence in knowing that you can handle it, and you can like believe in yourself next time when you hit like high pressure situations, because you definitely start to trust yourself that you are still able to deliver what you want at that moment. It's really tough, but yeah, it just gives you like a whole lot of confidence knowing that you can handle it.
Right. So now you won the Florida Open. Are you feeling any different than you did like after you won the UK Open? Your mindset, is it any different before you play the US Open?
Not really. I was just looking forward to the next event because like the level of players now is just so high, and every event is a new event. Anything can happen. Everybody plays so good. You just really need to just focus on what you can do and also hope that luck is on your side. That's really just all you can do.
Right, so now we're headed to the US Open, right, Scott?
Yeah. I was just going to touch real quick. That's how tough this sport is. And I've Johnny Archer, when he was in his prime, he was also a golfer that could have played on the Nike Tour. And I was on the road with him for a year, 2 years. And he would say, and I'm not trying to get off course, but he would say that this sport is the toughest sport in the world. He said it's tougher than golf, it's tougher than anything, due to all the variables. So what you're saying, to my point, is that after you won this event, you're not thinking anything. It's not easy to be like that, right? I'll be honest. When I finally won the Derby City Classic, it'd been haunting me for years. I was like, oh, I finally won the Derby. And then, the problem was I've not threatened the Derby since after that. And it was probably the wrong mindset. I had the wrong mindset for a lot of tournaments. For you, going to the U.S. Open, it's a completely new slate, right? So everything's brand new. It's a completely new event. You're not thinking anything. And I believe you, right? And I think this is a big secret and a big key to your success and why you're going to be around for so long in the future. This episode is brought to you by J. Peach Hour. J. Peach Hour is on board with us, and they've just come out with a limited edition of country cues about America. They've got 50 of each cue, and they're online now.
Now he's going to US Open, so he's got to change his cue again too, right?
I actually did, but I switched back to the original weight that I used in the Florida Open. It just felt right at that moment.
Why'd you do that? Why'd you switch back?
Because I only did it on the practice day. Like I switched the weight, and then it felt good at some shots, but I also felt odd at a lot of shots. So, and I was already playing with the weight that I played in Florida for a while. So I just felt maybe this time around I'm not gonna change anything. Maybe just try to stick with it. Although I did change like before some matches, and also I changed the bumper of my cue right before I played the semi and the final.
The bumper, the rubber,
the rubber, yeah. Yeah, I'm just nuts about it.
The players are noticing because I'm talking to players while I'm at the U.S. Open. They notice that he's over there doing something to his cue. You know, they're paying attention to what you're doing. So that's pretty cool. All right, let's talk about the U.S. Open, right? Clean slate. You're ready to rock and roll. Your mindset, obviously, you want to win this tournament, right? Obviously. What's your mindset? Say, all right, how'd you start off? Did you start off all right?
This time round, I started off better, I would say, but it was still like a slow start to me because I had my first match on the TV table, so it was playing really slick. And then, like, I played in the Battle of the Bull just the week before, and the tables it was like new cloth, but of course it doesn't play the same as the TV table. So I just took a bit of time to adjust to it, and then yeah, but I felt like I managed to adapt to it pretty quick this time compared to the past.
I think that's an advantage, actually. Obviously, if you lose your first match on the TV table, it's no good. But I think that's kind of an advantage, right? I'm sure you looked at it like that as well. I know that table was playing extremely slick first match on the TV table, but if you get through that match, that's an advantage, in my opinion.
Yeah, for sure. You know, not just like uh, winning on the TV table, but I feel like the first round always feels the toughest, and also like the first and the final always feels the toughest. Like you always want like a positive start, so the first match can always be tough, and then once you go through it, you feel like, or you just start building confidence from there.
Fast forward to your last match on the TV table. You're at the U.S. Open. Last time you were in the finals, you didn't fare so well, right? You lost a tough one, right?
Yeah, I lost
U.S.
to
Open.
Carlo. Yeah, I was up 8-3, and then I lost 13-8. He played awesome at the back. I made one mistake, and then he just made me pay for it all the way.
So here we are, boom, back 2025. You're on the TV table against, and you're playing one of the best players in the world as well, just like you are, Fedor Gorst. Talk us through that.
Yeah, well, not only that, right? I got to say it because I commentated it. Ko Ping Chung the year prior, I think you were in the quarterfinals, and he doesn't miss a ball. Semifinals. He doesn't miss a ball. Like he made all 99 balls. Carl Boys and I were commentating that, and you literally were a spectator for that match. There was nothing you could do. I think you kicked 2 or 3 times in that match.
Yeah, I had the best seat in the house. I mean, I feel happy. At least the chair was comfortable. So I really couldn't do anything that match. And then this time round, this year, I played his older brother. So in the semifinals, right? I played
Revenge.
Yes.
And then I had like the first rack. I had the first chance to pot a ball. So at that point of time, I was just thinking like, let's try to pot one ball this time. As long as I pot one ball, it's like a big breakthrough for me already.
I love you, man. You're the best.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean.
So you take care of Ko Ping Yi now. Now you're playing Fedor in the finals.
Yeah. So Fedor has been playing like some of the best pool like in the last couple of years. So, and he's also like the most consistent right now, I would say, for sure. So it's always tough playing him. But I remember my mindset going to the match was, you know, it's still a new match. You know, anything can happen. Just do whatever I can and just, you know, just try to take my chances and just stay positive. That's all I could really do at the time, and just pray for the balls to roll for me. That's really all I could do. I remember in like the last couple of racks, I think both of us we felt the heat really bad. I remember my hand was shaking. It was shaking so bad, and also it's like numb. I just couldn't feel anything. It just doesn't feel like my arm anymore. It's crazy. It really just feels like nothing I ever felt before. It's just incredible.
Yeah, I'm over here smiling and kind of giggling inside because I commentated that match with a big fan of yours. Jeremy Jones, I'm obviously also a big fan of yours. But you shot a specific 9-ball where you and 99% of the pros are just going to kind of stun the cue ball over. You're not going to hit it hard. You're just going to stun the cue ball over. Instead, last minute, you decided to roll it. And that was due to the back arm. And you rolled it, and your shoulder kind of flinched up a little bit. You could see that it was an all new pressure at that moment. And that match just had everything in it. And going back to what you said, you're playing the most consistent player in the world, in my opinion, as well at the time, Fedor Gorst. So with everything that happened in that match, and I'm sure you're going to take us through a little bit of it, and if you can even remember everything, it could be just a complete blackout for you. But with everything that happened in that match and the crowd, I've talked to Bobby about it. We mentioned it on the commentary. To me, for an open event for Matchroom, it was bar none the most intense venue, fans. It just was so pressure packed. I mean, we're 100 yards away from you guys commentating, looking at two small screens, and we were literally shaking ourselves. Like when we're drawn that far into a match, I can't imagine what it feels like for you guys out there.
Yeah, it really hits different, you know. I mean, I won a couple pro events before, and like in the like knowing it's the US Open, it's like to me the US Open feels like 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 in the ranking for me, it's always the World Championship first. The second to me is always the US Open. So it's like it's up there with like some of the top events in the world. So it
Absolutely.
just feels like it just feels really big, and yeah, just the pressure was just so different. It was incredible. I remember feeling in my chair. It's like it was so much pressure. I just didn't feel anything like this before. It's crazy, you
I,
know. And
I,
then also I wanted to win the event also. So for sure the pressure was like everything just hits me at that moment. It's just crazy.
our job is to analyze players and start to learn and know players, right? And it's kind of like baseball players and baseball cards. You want to get to know players and really start to understand them. That's our job. And something that I've recognized is you and Federer, yes, you and Federer have very similar styles tactically. You're both sound, so great tactically, offensively, very great. Both jump the ball as good as anybody. Both break the balls as good as anybody. But physically, I believe that there's a stark comparison. I think that Federer's a working player, meaning when he is in the game, he's even playing off the table. He's very into playing off the table, but when he's in the game, he's very physical or very demanding of himself. Whereas you, in my opinion, your longevity is a little bit different. You look little bit more laxed at the table. You flow a little bit better, or a little bit different. Better is not the right term. You flow a little bit different. So when Federer wins, he's really slaving. When he's at the table, he's slaving, and you seem to really lax up a bit.
Yeah, I think uh I feel like I'm not a really fast player also, but I think the the way I play, like when I the way I play on the table is just different. It's like I just try to flow as much as I can, but I also take my time when I know the situation stuff. So that's mostly how I play.
Yeah, no, you play magnificent, and your style of play is impeccable. I mean, you watch yourself play, and people look at you and like, this game's easy. You know what I mean? You get out there and you just execute and you do everything great. And here you are doing in the final U.S. Open. The crowd's packed. You're almost down the winning. What are you thinking?
Um, I remember being super relieved after I bought the last nine ball. I just felt like I could miss anything, and then I really did miss like so many things, you know, so many balls. It was crazy, and I also like I to be honest, I didn't expect Fedor to make like that many mistakes, but he just proved to me that he's human. Also, I always thought he was a robot. He's so consistent. It's crazy. So
we got to give that
like
a little credit to you too, because you put, like I said, I think you're the most feared player in pole right now. I mean, you beat Shane, you beat the young guns like Moritz, and you beat everybody on the Europe Cup or Reyes. You're playing fantastic. So I think some of that was you and just your will that you're putting out there on the table.
Absolutely, Bobby. I fully agree, right? You just won the last two open events. Federer's not daft, as they say in Europe. I mean, he knows deep down that he's playing the other guy that's playing probably about as good as he is, the two best players in the world at that very moment. So, of course, he's not thinking that while he's playing, but in the back of his mind, that's going to be there. And I think it's kind of, it just kind of, you guys kind of bleed off each other a little bit. He made a couple of mistakes, defensive errors, a couple of pocketing errors. Then you make a couple. It gets a little bit. This is just what happens sometimes. And for us, we all like to see that. I know as a player, it's the worst feeling in the world, but we like to see it because you guys are human, and the human side of this sport, I think, is something that we absolutely love and need. You can't play perfect every time, not in those settings. It's not possible.
yeah, for sure. Sometimes you win like playing the best pool of your life, but sometimes you also have to learn how to win like by grinding out. So it's all part of the game, and I do feel like me and Fedor, we had like an incredible final. It really had everything. It had good play. It had also like some of our worst moments. So it really had everything. It was such a incredible match, and also like it's amazing to be a part of it. Win or lose, I think at the end of the day, it was such a great match to be a part of.
Yeah, the smiles you had when all the graffiti is coming down, you know what I mean? We got so many nice pictures. You can see how excited and happy you were. Really, really enjoyed it. A lot of the players, I asked them what they'd rather win, before the world title, they say US Open. A lot of players put that above the world title. So it's a huge, huge big deal.
Yeah, it's the same for me. But I mean, like I said, I always rank the world championships like a little higher, because like calling yourself world champion always hits different. But calling yourself US Open champion also hits different.
Yes.
So it was also a dream of mine. Like since I was young, like one of the first few matches I ever watched when I started pool, it's from the US Open. So I always wanted to be a part of the event at the start. So to win it, it's incredible. And also like I came close before. Like I mean, I played Carlo in the finals back in 2021, and then in 2023 I was basically a spectator. Yeah.
You're right there, and
It
you're going to
was nice.
continue to be right there.
Yeah, it's nice to finally, it's nice to win the event for sure. It's like a dream come true. I still don't quite believe it till today. It's just incredible. It just feels like a dream.
I don't know. I don't know who could not, after seeing you. I mean, a lot of people don't have the opportunity to get to know you like we do. I don't know how anybody could not be a huge fan of yours after seeing this and listening to this. They see you, when somebody's sitting at home, they just see you playing pool. So they don't really get to know the person behind it. I think you're a spectacular human being, and your play just reflects that as well. So it's just it's an honor to have you here, because we also know, and we're not cutting this off yet, but we're going to try. But we also know you're playing in the Perry Open. He's got to play, just so everybody knows, he's got to play a match at 10 a.m. And I think it's now 1 a.m. or 1:30 in the morning where he's at right now.
Yeah. It's 1:30 now, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all right.
This episode is brought to you by Tommy's Supplies.
Tommy's Tattoo Supplies. It is. They are globally known. They're one of your biggest suppliers in the world for tattoo anything. Thank you, Tommy.
We're gonna give you. We're actually gonna let you go real soon. So obviously you're winning everything. We want to keep you going. I want to do a couple things real quick, Scott. If you want to add to it afterwards, real quick.
Go ahead.
I want to ask you a couple little things. I want you to give me small answers. All right. Like, do you have a routine? What is your routine when you play? Do you have like a before your match? Do you have a routine?
Before my match, I like to. I try my best to be alone for at least 30 minutes, like right before I play, as much as I can. I just like so that I can like sort the thoughts out in my head.
Completely alone or with your coach?
It depends on the situation. It's hard to say. Like if I start overthinking too much, then I'll talk to my coach a bit. But if I feel like the thoughts are something that I like, I know how to handle, or I have actually handled it before, then I like to be in my own thoughts. Like I just like to be silent and just slowly prep myself for the match. That's like one of my routine before I play.
What do you do to relax after a match? Win or lose, tough match. What's your go-to? Get something to eat, drink, take a little nap. What do you do?
If like after I finish my match and I'm done for the day, then yeah, for sure I'll go and have a good meal, and yeah, if not, I'm always on social media. So I'll just look on Facebook or YouTube, and then I'm always on my phone.
All right, very good. And you want to say hi to your girlfriend? You got to say hi. I don't want to get you in trouble, so you got to say hi to your girlfriend, right?
Yeah. Hi, Silviana. Don't think that I forget to mention you this time. Yeah. So I just saw her like last week actually in Ho Chi Minh at we both played the mixed doubles event. So and then now she's back in Indonesia. She's about to play the women's World 10 ball in Bali. So yeah, I'm wishing her all the best. So yeah.
Yeah, good luck. Shoot well.
Good,
yeah, absolutely.
Good luck,
That's
shoot
cool.
well, and yeah, I
Awesome.
love her for sure.
Love it.
All right, how many times do you change the weight in your cue in an event?
Damn, that's hard to say. So recently, it's been really bad. So I got like at least 4 new shafts this trip. So I've been changing it like before every match. If I use the same shaft, then maybe once or twice.
If you could, would you just have 4 or 5 different cues that are weighted differently sitting over there that you could go grab in the middle of a match?
I would love that. It saves me from changing the weight of my cue. I would prefer that, but you know, like paying for extra baggage it's expensive.
Yeah, not anymore. You can afford it.
That's actually one of the next questions. What have you done with the money? Have you bought anything that you wanted, like something like Scott is a big watch guy. You know, I like watches, sports cars. Have you bought anything that you really, really wanted, maybe after the U.S. Open?
Not yet. I haven't I haven't thought much about what to do with the money, but I have one thing, but it's a secret for now. Yeah, can't say it now.
Awesome. That's
interesting.
Great. Yeah, that's good stuff. I got one more question, Scott. If you have anything else you want to ask them, you got 3 majors. You got MVP Reyes. What's next for Aloysius? What? I mean, you got the Reyes Cup next week, right? You're trying to go back, going to be back-to-back MVP. What do you think?
I mean, I hope so. So yeah, just looking forward for a good event. Yeah. So for me, it will be I want to be able to call myself world champion. So that's the next for me. World championships for sure.
Yeah, good stuff. Yeah. Well, You're well on your way. I could say that. Listen, I'm a player, or I was. I can't run two balls now. But you got to play in the morning, and I know that you've done everything you can to get on this show with us. I know how happy he is. I know how happy I am. I just personally want to say thank you, dude, so much. I'll see you in like 48 hours, but thank you so much for helping us with this show, being on this show. How are you doing in the Perry Open?
So I qualified to the last 64. So yeah, it starts at 10 a.m. later. So yeah, I'm doing all right. I think I'm getting quite a bit of rolls, so I hope it continues.
Yeah, you're lucky. You're very lucky.
I just want to be lucky, man. I just want to be lucky.
Yeah, you're very lucky. All right,
Aloysius. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me too on the show. So yeah, I mean, I apologize for all the delays that I brought up to you guys.
No, man.
It was all me, man.
Apologize.
I appreciate you. I owe you. I appreciate you.
No problem. Yeah. Anytime.
Thank you, Aloysius. Good luck in the Perry Open. We'll see you soon. Good luck in your upcoming events. We are all major fans of yours, and I am one of those.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah. See you, Scott, and safe travels.
All right,
and
buddy.
Also see you, Bobby, at the international, I guess.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Thanks again. Get some rest.
Shout out to our amazing sponsors, Classic Billiards, Metro Sportz Bar, Anytime Billiards, PNW Pool Thing, the RACK Billiard Club, JP Shower, Tommy's Tattoo Supplies, In the Box, Andy Gow, and Wayne Harriman. Make sure to check them out, and thanks for supporting the Boom and Freezer Show.